resellers, thanks so much for tuning in today. I have a really quick video for you today, but it's an important video. I feel like a lot of people don't jump into reselling because they are afraid of shipping. So I think as many shipping areas as we can debunk for people and shipping hacks that we can offer, the more the better. If that's what's in your way of reselling, guys, that should be the easier part. I know sometimes the Postal Service doesn't make it the easier part, but I'm here to tell you that there are ways to ship just about anything. So today we're going to be talking about an area that I feel like a lot of resellers shy away from, that is records, because they're huge, they're boxy, and how do I ship them, and how do I ship it protected, and I want to protect the corners, and I don't have a huge square box like this. How much is it going to cost me if I put that in a box? So this is just the method that I use to ship records. I have shipped every record that I've ever sold like this, and I've never had any complaints. But perhaps you have a different way. Perhaps you have a better way of shipping records. If you do, that is the fantastic thing about the internet, is that we can all always be learning from each other. In this reselling community, I am learning from people every day. So if you ship records a different way, I invite you to drop the link below to your YouTube and to your channel about how you ship records, and we can all learn from each other. So right now, though, I have prepared this for today, so this is what we're going to learn. All right, so I have a large record, and I want to ensure that I ship it cheaply and that I protect the corners more than anything. I wouldn't want to get a record in and the corners be bent down into like a dog ear. So I have this piece of cardboard. When I receive items in the mail, even if the box is slightly damaged, I will cut off pieces of cardboard like this. This one is a priority mailbox, so a lot of people might say don't use that, because if the package is inspected, you know, they won't want to see that you're using priority mail things. I am recycling this. This was a used box that was shipped to my home, but you can use other cardboard if that bothers you. So I just have one piece of cardboard here. I'm going to cut this roughly in half. There's no special tools or measurements needed, okay? I'm using scissors and cardboard here, and I will use tape a little bit later. That's all we're going to need. I have some poly mailers. So now I have two squares. This is all you're going to need to protect the corners of a record, you guys. I want you to go along the edge. Let me show you. Okay, if this is my table, go along the edge of the table. You're going to line this up corner and corner on the edge of your table, and you're just going to press down, and that's going to create one even seam all the way across. So let me do that real quickly for you. Line up the corners and press down. So here was my table. I lined up the corners and I pressed down. That's simple, okay? So now I have this diamond that is folded in half. And if you line up the corners, it makes the next step easier. That's why I stress that, because now these corners line up a lot better. So now I have this triangle that's folded in half, and I am just going to, again, roughly cut about half of that. Try not to bend the cardboard because you want these to be sturdy. These are what's protecting your corners. So now I have two. I have a triangle in the floor. Now I have two triangle little tents here, all right? These are open on the edges, so I'm just going to take, real quickly, a piece of eBay tape, cut off enough here that I can create two pieces. My little dog ear here that I have, I'm going to leave the bottom open, and I'm going to tape up this top portion, okay? So now I have a little sailor hat for my finger, all right? I have this little triangle that is just taped down on the corners. I use this also whenever I'm mailing books. If I don't want to put those in boxes or don't have boxes for them, I will protect the corners of books like this. Here is my record. I have created 4 of these because you'll have to repeat that twice. You need 4 corners. And these are, again, the same little sailboats, and I have just slipped that right over the top of this record corner. In each corner, you can allow a little bit of space, and that way, hopefully, the goal is if this corner gets damaged, it will damage the cardboard long before it gets to the inside where the corner of the record itself is. And this one's not in perfect condition to begin with, but I want to protect the condition that it was in when the buyer saw the photos. So now I have this. USPS probably isn't going to like me if I take this to the post office and try to mail it. So I have 2 poly mailers. And you might think, I do not have a poly mailer that is large enough for that. My poly mailers aren't large enough for that either. Here's the size of my record. Here's the size of my poly mailer. That's not going to work. So let me show you what you do. I'm not into having to buy special shipping equipment for every single purchase every single sale that I make. I'm going to cut right up the side. You've got it here. Cut right up the left side, if I have this open here, of this package, of this poly mailer. It's a little easier on a table, but I'm trying to show you guys. So now I have cut up one side of this. I did the exact same thing with this one, but on the right side. Hopefully I did the right side. Okay, so now I'm going to take my record and slide it right inside there, and you see it only partially covers it. For my other one, let's cut up the other side. It's going to cover the remainder of it. So now I have what I feel like is good as a box. I will adjust these. I will ensure that this closes fully. And look, I add a piece of eBay tape to close the seam, eBay tape to close the seam, wrap this around, maybe a piece of eBay tape there if you feel like your closure isn't good. And this record is well protected from the elements with the poly bag. It's not going to be able to get any moisture in there, and the corners are protected as well. Again, I use this. I just mailed a book. Let me show you. This book was exactly the size of this poly mailer, and I have my little dog ear corners in there. So if this thing gets dinged around in shipping, if this hits something, it will hopefully damage the cardboard before it damages the book. And even if a book arrives in pristine condition to your buyer, we've all ordered items that were free shipping, and you might order an electronic and it comes in something like this. And I just kind of second guess ever buying from the seller again if that's really the best they could do. So this at least shows your buyer that you made a valiant effort to protect the corners of the item. So sometimes if it's a hardback, because this was a hardback book, I will protect it this way. Otherwise, I may lay a piece of cardboard in with the book if it's a paperback, just so that it doesn't get bent too much. So this book is pretty sturdy, and I just wanted to protect the corners. I hope that you guys like this tip. Like I say, if you use a different method to mail records and mail them inexpensively, drop the link below to your video, and we will all watch it and learn from it as well. But I hope that you have learned something here, and I hope that I can tell you that you don't have to be afraid of shipping records. So tell me what other categories that you're afraid to ship in, and I will debunk those shipping. I will come up with a shipping hack for that area also. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Treat your business like your business.